Some of you are probably wondering, why did this take so long for somebody to do? Well, I've been over the years playing Skyrim and watching like all these big Skyrim YouTubers like talk very little about alchemy as far as like advanced. Like there's a guide on Steam for both the original and special edition that basically goes over the ingredients and their effects. But like nobody has really done more in depth of just how far you could take it. And so that's what the point of this video is. I'm not talking about like stuff, like the basic stuff. I'm talking about like actual potion combinations that you may or may not know that you could do. So the goal of this is to give it, simple, straightforward, some of the useful potions you can make. And as I said, some you may know, and some you may not know that was possible. Now, this will only cover the base game and the 3 DLCs for Hearthfire, Dawnguard, and Dragonborn. So there will be no Creation Club items and no modded items in this list. And this is all stuff possible where generally everybody, like if you have special edition, you will absolutely be able to do this. And for base Skyrim, I mean, you still should be able to do it as long as you have the DLCs. But anyway, without further ado, let's get to it. Now, before we start, I'm going to list the potion effects and then the ingredients required to make it. And some of these may have more than one combination. Some may require two potions, and some may require purity. And the ones that have purity, I will, if it's in my notes that it requires purity, which I know there's at least two, I will mention it. But most of these will not require purity perk from the alchemy tree. And these are, some of them I have not fully tested yet, but these are some combinations that I've been messing around with that should be viable even on legendary difficulty. So without further ado, let's get to it. this last one I want to kind of mention a little bit about. It's paralysis is just one of the most OP effects you can put on any enemy in the game that can be affected by it, which is the majority enemies. I went a very long time only using just a poison of paralysis by using canis root and swamp fungi pond. And then I was like, literally yesterday or the day before, I was like, I need to improve it. Is there a way to improve it to make it more viable than it already is? Well, it's a little extra oomph to it. Well, there is a way. And the ingredients are imp stool, human flesh, and scathe crawl, which you probably noticed that scathe crawl is quite common, but the potion, or the poison rather, it does paralysis, lingering damage HP, and damage HP, which is absolutely great because paralysis on legendary is awesome, whether it's in poison or in spell form. Now, if you have the arcane spell creation club item where you go to near College of Winterhold, where there's a bunch of mages in there and you get the chance to get a whole bunch of them, there is a spell in there that you can get that also will work great in this place if you have to be mage and you don't want to use poisons, and that is paralysis rune. But you only can get it from that mod, because the only enemies that really are not affected by paralysis is primarily dragons and Draugr, and of course Karsag, enemies like them. Like everything else, aside from the bosses, are pretty much affected by it. I don't even need to show you. Like, it's just that good. It's like most used poison on an enemy is paralysis, because they just can't help themselves. And as you level up in, and make your alchemy skill better with the perks, and then get like a really good or even a decent alchemy armor set. Like, I've had one set where I was making paralysis poisons that lasted at least 100 seconds with just one hit. So, yeah, it could get a little ridiculous, but fortunately, you don't have to invest too much to really get it to be effective. And I would say probably at like 20 seconds, like, you don't really need any higher than that for paralysis. But if you want to add the damage, you just have it keep going up, by all means. But that's pretty much the entire list. There was one other one that I wanted to mention, but unfortunately, it has one effect that literally negate or is pointless with the other, or one of the other effects. So it's a potion of regenerate stamina, fortify two-handed, fortify illusion, and resist fire. And with fortify two-handed, the fortify illusion is absolutely useless, and vice versa. So that's kind of why I didn't put this one on there. But that you can make that potion. It's just pointless. So, and also I already have the fortify two-handed with regenerate stamina and resist fire already, so that's why I just only included that one. So, but I hope that these help out. Now, as far as any additional tips that I can think of, is because there might still be some that I have yet to discover as far as with just the base and DLC ingredients. Like a rule of thumb, as far as like a guide, is first of all write it down. Write the effects with the ingredients listed. That way you can navigate it a little easier because that's how I have it. Instead of the other way around, like the guide hand for Alchemy 101 on Steam. If you go through the effects and then you see if any ingredients match with it, it's a lot better if there are two ingredients that match both the first two effects that you want, then you could probably get a third or fourth. Because if you look at some of the ingredients I list here, you will find that that is the case. Now, there are some combinations you would absolutely want to have, but it is absolutely impossible to make. Even with Creation Club effects, it is literally impossible. So like for instance, like having one that has weakness to shock, fire, and frost all at the same time, like that is impossible. The closest I ever got was weakness of fire and weakness frost because that's what the ingredients allow. So, with all that said, I mean, I hope you guys found this helpful. I know it's been long overdue, but someone had to make this. And when I can, I'll get around to making a guide on Steam that just has it in writing. But, I mean, I wanted to make the video probably because it would be a lot easier. That way you can find it a little bit easier as well. And you can pause, read, write it down for the ones that you happen to want instead of having to search for the guide. Because I probably find searching this on YouTube to be easier. So, with all that said, hope you guys enjoy it. And I hope that I helped some of you out.